Chapter begins with Yuji, Choso, and Kamo. Yuji asks Choso to teach convergence, but Choso isn't really a good teacher. Kamo clearly explains how blood manipulation and convergence works. Choso says he can teach Yuji how to use supernova attack, but Kamo rebukes Choso's suggestion and says Yuji should learn blood manipulation only to know how to stop bleeding. Choso gets sad and pouts for not being able to teach Yuji. Yuji also reveals that the second person he swapped with is Yuta Okotsu. Only by going through the process of dismantle and cleave will door to Kamino opens. It lacks a speed relative to its fire and has narrative effect range. To resolve these issues, Sukuna imposed a binding vow upon himself. Uraome says it's our win, as narrator continues to explain that Kamino's heat results in decompression and overpressure, leading to death of living beings inside the domain. This is Ryomen Sukuna's ultimate technique that slaughtered Mahoraga in one strike. Narrator explains that during Gojo fight, Sukuna had to repeatedly change the specifications of his domain, narrowing its effective range, due to which Sukuna deemed it insufficient to unleash Kamino. Thus Sukuna had to seal it during his fight with Gojo. Before the flames could hit Yuji, Choso sacrifices himself and makes barrier of blood around him to protect Yuji inside. Choso slowly dies as he says, "I'm sorry for being useless during our training. I hate KK." Choso and Yuji are in their imaginary soul world. Choso compliments Yuji for learning RCT faster than him. Yuji says it's due to Sukuna using his body did he achieve it. But Choso says it's okay, little brothers are meant to surpass their older brothers. Yuji scolds Choso and says you can't disappear. Choso says, right, I need to apologize to Tsukumoto. Choso says, Yuji, I'm sorry, I'm leaving you alone again. Yuji says, you were always by my side when times were the toughest. That's more than enough. Iso says, big brother, are you there? Choso says, I'm right here. Kechizu, brother, I'm cold. Choso, it's alright, let's talk. Choso, if we talk together, we'll forget about the cold. Choso, the 150 years we experienced was only a few days for Yuji. Back to reality. Choso departs with final words, thank you Yuji for becoming my brother. Yuji says goodbye to Choso as he finally says thank you Aniki, which means big brother. As everything crumbles down, Yuji helplessly asks, guys, someone. Yuji convinced himself he was a cog. No matter what happened, he was meant to fulfill his role. But as the scorched earth's heat begins to push his way, it shook the foundation of his resolve. The resolve to repay his brother who had sacrificed his life to protect him. Yuji hopelessly sees Sukuna coming towards him, but Aoi Toru once again arrives at the battlefield to help his brother. Flashback. Todo and Mei plans on how to rescue people trapped inside Sukuna's domain. By using Mei's crow and Todo's boogie woogie, they can get people outside. Since Sukuna's domain instantly kills, Todo can't guarantee their lives, but it's good to try. Mei says since Todo will be outside of Sukuna's domain, he has to expand his CT's range by a lot, so she asks if he can really do it with those arms. Todo says he is not really sure of succeeding, but he says he can feel the heartbeat of Boogie Woogie. But Todo says they can't let Yuji know of this plan. Yuji and Sukuna were two souls in one body, even though it's in past. That connection itself is strong. So there's a possibility of their plan unknowingly being spoiled to Sukuna. Narrator says even Todo was uncertain of his allies' safety and couldn't manage to move Choso and Yuji outside because both of them were right at the center of the domain. He couldn't explain all this to Yuji, so Todo tries to encourage him by saying, I'm sorry brother, but they're probably alright, referring to other sorcerers. Yuji tries to steal his resolve by thinking other sorcerers are probably alright and he has to believe in Todo for now. Editor comments at the end of the chapter, the path to victory linked by the brothers. Subscribe for weekly chapter updates.